Hey there, and welcome to 30 Surprising Ways Podcasters Can Use AI in 30 Minutes. We're going to show you how to maximize your podcast potential using ChatGPT. Now, my name is Brittany Long, and we haven't met yet. This is the AI version of me. It looks pretty close to the real version of me. I do not have a giant fluffy cat, though. Sorry to disappoint. So these images were made using Midjourney, which is a really fun tool that I talk about in my program, AI 200K. And this I use this a lot when I'm trying to get people's attention on social before I launch or on when I'm talking about my podcast, subscribing to it. So you get a little sneak peek there at what that looks like. Now, I'm an award-winning former educator. I'm known as the queen of evergreen, podcaster, author, copywriter, and AI expert. Today, you're going to learn 30 ways you can use AI as a podcaster. And if you'd like to stay to the end, I have a special deal for you on AI 200K. Now, I will tell you when I'm about to go into that. So if you decide that's not for you, you don't want to dive into it, that's totally fine. You can head off at that point. Otherwise, you can stay to the end and get that special deal if you'd like. Now, the first thing you can do with AI and specifically with ChatGPT is content planning. And so here's some ideas on how you can do that. First, you can analyze listener preferences for content ideas. And second, you can analyze trends for content ideas. So how do we do that? First, let's look at analyzing listener preferences. Try using this prompt. So first, we're going to take anything that your listeners have said, either on your audio or someone else's audio, commented on somebody's YouTube or podcast or blog posts or anything that you see on Reddit where people are talking about your specific industry. Let's say that your industry is education and specifically maybe pre-K. And so then you're going to look into Reddit, any questions that people are asking about pre-K, any questions that are coming up about whatever it is that's your topic. We're going to copy and paste all of those. Ideally for me, I like to put them in a spreadsheet and then copy and paste them. That way I can look back at them. We're going to copy and paste it and put it into ChatGPT and say this. I'm going to give you information about what my audience is interested in hearing. I want you to analyze their preferences and come up with at least, you could say 20, 50, whatever you want, at least 20 ideas for content based on the questions that you see here. Put the content in order from most inquiries to least interest, and then see what happens. It's going to give you a list of the questions or the comments that people are making, and it's going to have the people that or the questions that people have asked the most that are similar at the top, and the ones that are asked the least towards the bottom. Same thing for trends. You can do that using something called Answer the Public. It's ANSWER, answer the, and then public, PUBLIC.com to see what people are asking there as well. And again, you can just say, here are the questions that people are asking about X, Y, and Z. I need you to tell me what I can do with this, or I need you to give me some ideas on the kind of content. So let's see what that actually looks like. So here at the spreadsheet, what do you want Brittany to show you how to do or make with AI? So this is one of the forms that people can fill out. You could also do this if you have a Facebook group, if you have a forum where people can request a certain topic, any of those will work. I'm going to go ahead and head to ChatGPT and let me pull up. I'm actually going to use the 3.5 version because I ran out of messages for 4 because I was using it a lot today. I'm going to go to 3.5. I'm going to paste everything in here and get out all the excess stuff here. And then I'm going to do exactly what I told you to do and say, I want you to review the answers below and tell me what people want me to cover about AI. Go from most requested to least requested. And anything that's been requested multiple times, put on one line only. Okay. Or actually, I'm going to say consolidate, just to make it more clear. All right. Now, if this happens where it's too long, what I'm going to do instead, this was 48 answers, and obviously you can see that it's quite long. So I'm going to go ahead and take half of that or even just a little bit of that. Normally, I would be a little bit more systematic with it, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to cut out a lot of it. And I'm going to click the edit button there and just remove about half of it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the bottom of this and click Save and Submit. Okay, so now it's going to give me a list and I have things that I can talk about in my next episode. Next, we have AI assistance for script development if you're using a script, enhancing narrative structure using AI insights, and analyzing old episodes to improve future scripts and outlines. So let's look at AI assistance for script improvement. What you're going to do is create a script, or if you already have a script created, you're going to say something like this. I want you to review the script that I've created for this episode. The focus keywords that I have are whatever keywords you want to focus on. I want you to review the script and make suggestions so that I have a higher chance of getting more people to find this episode using SEO and it's a more interesting episode. So that's what we do for that. For analyzing old episodes to improve future scripts and outlines, you can take a transcript from a previous episode and say something like this. I want you to analyze this previous episode that I did and tell me tell me the things that I said that may have been confusing or what I can do to improve the outline or structure of this podcast episode. My goal is to, and then whatever your goal is it to get a sponsor? Is it to increase listeners? What is your goal for that? And then I would say keep that in mind as you make this analysis. The next one we're going to do is content research. So for this one, we want to look for our next guest or events with our listeners. For this one, I would recommend using Bard, BARD, .google.com. And this one, you'll have to use at least for right now, you're going to have to use your personal email when you sign up for it. It's free to use, at least as of right now. And so we're going to go here. So here I said, I'm looking for guests for my next podcast episode using AI with SEO. Please recommend 20 potential guests who are using AI who are masters of SEO. I forgot to mention this earlier. The reason I would use this instead of ChatGPT for this particular one is because while ChatGPT does have access to the internet, even though sometimes it will lie to you and tell you it doesn't, with ChatGPT, it goes up until a certain point. So at the time of this recording, it goes up to April 2023, which means anything from April 2023 to the time of this recording is not going to be covered when I look this up. But with Bard, it's access to the internet right here, right now. And so that's why I can get some of these people that might be more of who I'm looking for right now and considered experts in the field right this moment. Okay, so we got lots of different ideas on who, and then it also tells me why here, which I really appreciate. Now I said, please look for events in or near Orlando, Florida, because that's near where I live, that might attract an audience curious about using AI and looking to hire someone to help them implement it. So listed all of these conferences and expos that are coming up, plus meetups and workshops, many of which I didn't actually realize were happening. So that's super exciting for me. And so it has some ideas here. And then typically it'll also tell me if it's an event, where it's happening, and then when it's happening as well. The next one we have is long form article creation, both blog posts or LinkedIn articles. Now, if you are using ChatGPT, you can get your transcript from the podcast episode you just did, and then you're going to put that into ChatGPT and you're going to say something like this. I want you to review my transcript and then create a blog post or LinkedIn article post outline using only the transcript from this podcast episode. So once it does that, then you're going to say, great, now let's go ahead and expand on each of these sections. You'll notice that I'm having you do an outline first instead of having you create it right away from the beginning. The reason that I do this is because if I do the outline first, I find that I get better content and it pulls better from my transcript. I like creating blog posts and LinkedIn articles from the content that I'm already creating because I know it's coming from me, from my voice, from my head, from my thoughts. And so I feel very good about that. I feel confident that I'm seeing an integrity with that. All right, after we've done the long form article creation, we're going to do Instagram posts and other short form texts from your podcast. So for that, we could then say, after we've already created the blog post and you're going to be using the same chat for this, you could say something like this. I'm going to tell you what I want you to create. I want you to create an Instagram post, or you can say 3 Instagram posts, whatever you want, using only the transcript or the blog post or LinkedIn article you just created for me. This should be interesting and engaging with a strong hook at the beginning. And I'm going to start with saying either Instagram post or thread or tweet. I wouldn't do both in the same one. I want you to create 3 Instagram posts or 1 Instagram post using my voice and tone, which you'll find in the transcript. The content should only come from the transcript or blog post or LinkedIn article and should be interesting and engaging. Remember who my audience is. And if you haven't already told it who your audience is, you'll copy and paste that in. If you're not sure how to find out who your audience is, you can say, this is what I talk about. These are the episodes that get the most traction. I think this is who my audience is. Can you give me an analysis? And it will do that too. Okay, next we're going to create Facebook posts. Similar to the Instagram post, we're going to say something like this. I want you to create a Facebook post using only the transcript that I've given you, or the transcript I've given you, plus or the blog post or LinkedIn article. I want the Facebook post to be interesting, that has a strong hook. I want it to be something that will gain engagement and attention from my audience. And then the other thing I would say with this is that you'll notice with the Instagram post, I said to do 3. With this one, I'm recommending only doing 1 at a time because Facebook posts are typically a little bit longer. You could also ask it to include a call to action at the end. Next, we're going to do short form video from your podcast. So there's a few ways you can do this. One is by having it come up with a TikTok script. So what you're going to do for that is you're going to take your transcript, again, same chat, and you're going to say, now I want you to create a 60 to 90-second TikTok script. Tell me exactly what to say second by second and what to do. And then it's going to come up with that for you. You could also say using only my transcript or using only my blog posts as your guide. Thing with Reels. And if you want to do voiceovers, what you can do is to have it create a few images using something like CapCut and then read over what the images are. You could also use a tool like clap.app, KLAP.app, APP, as things to cut up your short form videos cut up your long form videos or audios into shorter form ones. But those are my favorite tools for that is clap.app, KLAP.app. Next is lead magnet creation. So we can use listener feedback with AI for ideas. What that looks like is this. You're going to copy and paste any comments, feedback, questions that people ask from your show, from joining your Facebook group, whatever it is. And then you're going to say, I want you to read through all of these and come up with some ideas for a lead magnet. Once it's done that, you can say, now I want you to create the lead magnet. Be as specific as possible and pretend like you're an assistant who is tasked with creating this from start to finish. Then you can give it some feedback, but that's the way to get started. Next is AI composed music and effects. So you can have tailored background music creation or automatic sound effect integration, not interrogation. But with the sound effect integration, you can use a tool like clap, KLAP.app. There is plenty of AI music tools out there right now as well if you want to learn how to do something like that. For me personally, I don't love doing the tailored background music creation. It just takes a little bit longer than I want, but that might be something you're interested in. If so, that is definitely possible with AI. All right, next is SEO optimization. So enhancing discoverability through AI optimized titles and descriptions. So what you can do is take the title that you're thinking about and say, I want you to review this title or review this description and tell me how SEO friendly it is for my podcast about X, Y, and Z. My goal for this podcast is to attract more people who talk about your audience. And I want them to ultimately, what's the outcome you want? You want them to buy merch from you? Do you want them to join a course or a program that you have? Do you want them to hire you as a consultant? What is it that you want them to do? Next, we have enhanced interview preparation with ChatGPT. This is one of my favorites. I know we talked about a lot about ChatGPT so far, but there's just so much you can do with it that it makes sense to start here. So with this, you can do in-depth question generation for guests. What that would look like is this. I'm going to interview, name of guest, about whatever the topic is, or my podcast, describe your podcast. My audience is who your audience is, and then say, I want you to create a list of 10 questions for this guest that my audience will be curious about that will also help my audience discover my podcast. And then also unique talking points. So you could look at the questions and say, I want you to create now 5 unique talking points this person has probably never been asked, but my audience would still be interested in learning. Next, we have creative title generation, brainstorming session titles, analysis of successful title patterns. In other words, you can take all of the data you have from your podcast. So let's say all the titles you already have, and then how many people are clicking on each one, and ask it to analyze the formula for a successful title for your audience based on that information. Next, we have generating interactive content. So this is ideas for engaging podcast segments and strategies for audience participation and engagements on social. So how are you going to get your audience talking about your episode and excited to share your episode? You can ask ChatGPT how to do that. You can say something like this. I create a podcast episode about whatever it's about for whoever your audience is. And I want you to give me some ideas on what I should ask them to do on social that will not only create a sense of community, but will also make them want to share and will attract more people like them. Next, we have efficient content summarization. So this would be episode summaries, the show note creation. You can use Capsho, Capsho, or Cast Magic for this. You can also do it in ChatGPT though. You can say, I want you to review the transcript below, and I want you to come up with an episode summary or show note creation just from the transcript. Make it easy to read and engaging so that people are excited to listen to the full thing. Next, you can enhance listener engagement. So these are strategies for audience participation. We actually talked about that already, so I'm going to go to the next one. You can craft replies with AI. So if you have ever had a really good episode, you get a ton of emails back about it, or some people reaching out to you, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And so instead of getting stuck in that overwhelm, what you can do is get the response and then put it into ChatGPT and say something like this. I want you to help me create a meaningful, heartfelt response to this person, letting them know I care and appreciate that they replied to me or they sent an email, and answer any questions that they have. Now, you still want to review it, but it takes away some of that mental brain energy that you'd otherwise be using. Next, we have effective email campaigns. So creating AI emails or email newsletter content using AI. So you could say something like this. I want you to send an email every week promoting my podcast. I'm going to tell you what this episode is about using the transcript, and I want you to create an engaging email that encourages my audience to listen to the podcast episode and make it so juicy that they can't help but listen. Make sure the hook to the email is very interesting and makes them want to keep reading. So sometimes with emails, the hook is really weak. So we want to make sure that we ask it for a better hook if it's weak. And then it usually also starts with, hey, savvy entrepreneur, or something like that. I always cut that part out. And then also strategies for subscriber engagement. So this could be saying, hey, ChatGPT, my open rate has dropped to 36% from 40%. Can you give me some ideas on what I can do differently to continue to have subscriber engagement? Next, we have crafting sponsorship proposals. So if you would like someone to be a sponsor for your podcast, but you're not really sure how to ask and you're totally getting in your head about it and you're procrastinating on it, using AI can be really helpful for that. You could say something like, I want to ask whatever company to be a sponsor for my podcast, whatever the podcast is called. The audience is who your audience is. And we talk about topics like some of the topics you talk about. I think that this company would be a great fit to sponsor this podcast because why you think they'd be a good fit. Please create an email that is kind, professional, interesting, and engages the reader about why this company would be a great fit to be a sponsor and enticing them to want to find out more. And then customization. So maybe you have a package that you promote, but you want something specific for this specific sponsor. Maybe the sponsor wants to do 2 emails a month and 1 podcast episode that's sponsored by them. So instead of just doing the typical sponsorship letter or proposal where they just maybe want to be mentioned in a podcast, now you have more things to add. So then you can say, I want you to take this template sponsor proposal and turn it into a specific one for this and this. And if they have any questions, here's what they should do. But basically, we're asking it to customize it for us. Finding sponsors, AI assisted location of sponsors. So this would be saying, this is what my podcast is about. This is who my audience is. Can you give me 50 ideas for people who might be interested in sponsoring? And also tell me why they might be interested in sponsoring. And I said people, but ideally you'd want to say businesses. When you ask it specifically for people, it really struggles with that. And it thinks that it's, what's the word? That it's like breaching privacy and confidentiality. So from here, crafting promotional posts, blurbs, and sound bites for sponsors. So what that looks like is saying, I'm going to tell you the information about this podcast episode. I'm going to give you the transcript. I want you to pull out the most engaging, most interesting, most provocative statements that so-and-so made on the podcast and turn it into a social post. Or I'm going to have you pull those things out and list them for me. And then you can turn them into social posts yourself by going into Canva with ChatGPT. Let me show you real quick what that looks like. All right. So first I'm using, of course, I can't remember the name of it right now, Descript. And I'm using Descript for getting the transcript. So I'm just going to go ahead and export that. And then once I have that, there we go. And I have mine in a TXT file because I don't have Microsoft Word on here. Hey, I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Okay. And now I'm going to start a new chat here. I'm going to put in the transcript, and then I'm going to say, I want you to pull out 10 engaging, interesting, provocative, help if I can spell it right, quotes from this transcript that will engage my audience, make them want to comment or share. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull up my information about my audience. And I have it in this document. So I'm just going to grab that, copy and paste. Don't judge me for all the 900 tabs I have open. All right. Okay, so some obviously like this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this so I don't want to lose it. That's not anything. So there's a few things in here I'm going to take out. Hope this helps. That doesn't do anything. Let's see. The reason I come there's course. So typically this isn't a podcast episode. This is just a training I did, which is why we're getting some subpar stuff. But let's just say these are the things and they turned out good. But I'm just going to grab a few of them here. All right. And then I'm going to put them into a Google Doc. And actually, I don't need to do that. Let me just go straight to Canva. If you don't have Canva, this is another really great tool. I'm going to do create design, doc, paste it in. And I'm going to bullet point it just so that it's a little bit easier for me to see where everything starts. The next thing I'm going to do is click convert. And I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do this brand kit that I have. And I'm going to do this one, create my presentation. Now it says presentation. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a magic switch afterwards and turn it into, let's say, 1080 by 850. Actually, let's see just social media because I can't remember what size everything is. So I'll do Instagram ad, continue, resize this design, and then it automatically resizes this for me. Now, is this by itself? Is this great? No, like the I might need to add or edit some of this stuff, but it's still going to be faster for me than doing all of it myself. The other thing you can do though is look at templates, and it gives you some templates ideas, some style ideas as well. If let's say I want to do different colors, I can change that here and so on. I can also click like extract background. If I want to add in some things here, I can do that fast afterwards. All right, so that's how you would do that. Let's go ahead and get back. Next, we have crisis management strategy. And I hope that you never have to need this one, but just in case, it is important to know. So let's say that you have some kind of PR thing going on, asking for AI assistance for public relationship issues. So for example, saying something like, this is what happened with our company, or this is what happened with our sponsor. And people are asking a lot of questions. Here's some of the questions they're asking. How can I address them in a way that is both public, would be acceptable to a PR firm, but also honors my audience and helps them understand what's going on. Something like that might be helpful there. Okay, then we have building a podcast community. So this would be ideas for fostering a listener community and strategies for audience retention and growth. Strategies for audience retention and growth. You might say something like, I want more people to listen to my podcast. Here's what my podcast is about. Here's who my audience is. Can you give me some ways that I can engage my audience, or give me some ways that I can help build a community in my audience, what I should do with them? Should I meet them in person? Those kind of things. Give me a list of 30 ideas on how I can build community with my podcast or for my podcast, or 30 reasons or 30 ways to have my audience grow with this podcast. All right. Next, we have income diversification strategies. So for this one, you're going to say something like this. My podcast is about whatever topics, and my audience is whoever your audience is. I want you to come up with ideas that I can use to diversify my income using my podcast. Or I want you to come up with some offers that I can make to my listeners or to my email list that my podcast will help me promote. So those are some ideas for you on that one. And since it's storytelling, so this would be, especially if you're not doing a lot of stories now and you want to add more, whether that's testimonials or that's stories that illustrate a solution or stories that illustrate something for your audience. You could say, I'm going to tell you about the topics that I cover and the audience that I have. and I want you to give me suggestions on kinds of stories I can add. Here's an example of a podcast episode I did recently. Give me some ideas on stories I could add the next time I cover a topic like this one. And then generating creative story elements. So this would be, for example, if you want to tell a story or an illustration in your podcast, and then you want to add something extra in. So you could say something along the lines of, I want my podcast to be more interesting. I'm already telling stories like this one. Copy and paste the part of your transcript where you talked about it. But I think I can be doing more. Give me some ideas on additional creative storytelling elements that I can add in. Next, we have podcast analysis and improvement. So this would be analyzing what people are and aren't interested in based on how much engagement you're getting. This can help you refine your podcast so that you're only covering the things that people are most interested in. For example, we're going to copy and paste all of the information about the title, the description, how many people listen, how many people listen the whole way, if you know that, and then say something like this. I want you to analyze my podcast, how many people have listened, and what people seem to be most interested in. I want you to give me ideas on how I can refine my podcast, what I say that it's about, what I say or who I say it's for, and how it helps, and even where to make promotional suggestions or where to make promotional pitches throughout the podcast, if that's something that you're doing, so that I have more, whatever it is that you want, whatever the outcome is, more listeners, so that I have more listeners, more buyers, whatever it is, more sponsors. Next, developing marketing strategies. So using AI to brainstorm for marketing initiatives and then target audience identification and outreach. Maybe you started a podcast and you realize, crap, I'm not really sure who my audience is, or maybe the audience you thought you had isn't the audience that it really is. And so in those cases, you can say something like this. I thought my audience was X, Y, and Z, but they're not really listening, or they're not buying from me, whatever it is. I want you to help me identify who my audience might be instead. Here's some things that people say about my podcast, what they love about it. And then for brainstorming marketing initiatives, you can say something like this. I want you to give me some ideas on marketing initiatives that might work for my podcast to help me, whatever outcome you want, to help me make more sales, to help me grow my reach, to help me have a bigger impact, whatever it is. What kind of marketing strategies can I start using to accomplish that goal? And then identifying collaboration opportunities. So this is discovering potential partnerships, whether that's a partnership with somebody doing a podcast with you or a JV or something like that, a joint venture. That's what we want to do here. And then also crafting collaboration proposals. So this could be, let's say I want to work with somebody who I do AI and they do copywriting. And so I found somebody that does that and I say, hey, I want to work with you. Here's my proposal. For the prompt, you could say something along the lines of, I want to work with this person because why you want to work with them. Please create a proposal that would be a fair agreement for both of us that would be mutually beneficial. Creating educational content. So this is getting ideas for educational segments and having a topic specific series. You would say something like, I'm going to tell you what my podcast is about, and I want you to come up with ideas on what it can talk about in a topic specific series. And then we have personal development in podcasting. So enhancing your skills by giving it something that you did a public speaking presentation on, asking it to analyze what you did. And then also having it review your podcast, looking for us and things along those lines, maybe words you're saying a lot, and give you suggestions on how to improve. Offer creation from your podcast. What offers does your audience want? How can you create them fast? So this would be saying, my audience keeps asking me about this topic. What offers can I create around this topic that they would be most likely to pay for? All right. Now we covered everything. I was like 10 seconds over. I was so close to being able to finish under 30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about AI 200K now. Like I said, I do have a special offer for everyone that made it this far. Congratulations. I hope that was really helpful for you. If you want to know how to do all of this with perfected prompts, so the prompts that I use today, but also more of those that really shorten things for you and get extra support so that you can use AI effectively, efficiently, without taking a lot of time or spending a lot of money on all the different tools that are coming out every day. If that's something you're interested in, then go ahead and keep listening. If not, I'm so grateful that you are here with me today. And I hope that this really helped you learn how to use AI with your podcast. All right. And you can see how this process, even just with podcasting, can provide more security for you. You can have more fleshed out offers and sales content so that you have not just a podcast, not just a product, but like a business ecosystem. So you're not working for free when you're creating these podcast episodes so that all the hard work you're putting in pays off. If you can see how it'd be helpful to have AI marketing and copy review support so that the things that you're doing are getting the most impact. If you'd like to see how you could have more visibility for stages for being a podcast guest. And really, because we know that more visibility means it's easier to make money when you're doing visibility the right way. If you've done for you prompts that are tested and true and actually in a document for you so that you can just copy and paste it. If you'd like copy and content that's not reliant on a pricey copywriter or the assumption that you have unlimited time, then this is really what we're looking for. So when I first started, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what this is in a second, but when I first started looking at how to use AI in all parts of my business, all parts of my life, it was at a time where everybody was talking about there's scarcity, there's instability, there's all these unknowns. And so for me, anytime I come across that, whether that was in really at any point in my life, whenever I come across something like that, I choose to ask and said, what can I do? What action can I take? What can I do so that I'm not stuck in the feeling like I'm spiraling or stuck feeling like I'm just totally out of control, don't know what's going on? What kind of steps can I take to have some control over my future? So over this past year, I've used AI to make more money by creating faster content, including podcasts, without losing quality. And that also meant faster offers that speak directly to my audience, like the one I'm about to tell you about. It's also helped me make easier sales with bots and other AI tools and had fewer hires, which is really helpful. I have a few amazing people on my team, but I didn't necessarily want to continue to add new people on. It meant that I could stop Frankensteining. In other words, piecing parts of my business together and slapping things together, hoping that it all sticks because I just didn't have time to go in depth on a lot of things. If you're not interested in that, you're all done for today. I wish you the very best, whether you're doing a Black Friday offer or really any kind of offer, whether you're starting with your podcast or you've been doing your podcast for a while. If you want to earn more, if you want to have a bigger impact, if you want to really enjoy what you're doing but not feel overloaded by the stuff you don't enjoy doing, then I invite you to continue on. All right, so these are some of the AI images that I've been making. Here's another one, and you actually will get access to this if you decide to join. You get access to a training on how to do these, which can be really great for promoting podcasts. And you don't have to do a polar bear one, obviously, but it can be great for really standing out on the sea of social media. So if you want to do that in a way that focuses on ease, if you're tired from starting from scratch every month or feel like you're pivoting or changing direction for a quick cash injection every month, and you want support from somebody who's in it with you for the long haul, not just a quick buck. And if you're tired of coming up with something new to sell every single month, if you want to use AI but worry it's not going to give you the best copy or content, if you want to coach but you can't afford $2,500 a month as you're building up your business, which is what a lot of coaches charge right now, and really if you want more security. So if you want to increase your first of the month sales, if you want to increase your ecosystem and not just have a random product here and there or your podcast that you're hoping will make some money, if you want additional income, visibility for consistency, peace of mind copy, connections and support, and if you want to be able to evergreen and automate your content and offers while also decreasing your risk. In other words, not having to have a $2,500 a month coach, not having to make additional hires, not having to hustle more, and not having to waste time Frankensteining. That is where AI to 100K comes in. So this is everything that's included in AI to 100K, and I'm going to go over all of this right now here for you. If you want to make this your best year yet, then that's what I'm here to help you do. So this is a year-long program. A lot of times I see people doing memberships, doing short-term courses, doing things like that. But the problem with that is that usually those are chaotic. They want you to hustle really hard, but sometimes you just don't have time for that. And so having a year-long program that is sustainable and not chaotic is really what we want. That way you're not feeling behind, you're not feeling overwhelmed. This is part of the process. If you want access to a coach, copywriter, tech person, and prompts engineer with ongoing support from the community that we have there, ongoing copy support, prompt support, marketing support, and easy to follow tutorials on how to add AI into your business systematically, you'll also get my prompts for every launch I do, feedback, copy, and content with fewer hires and less time. And we'll also be following the Friday Off framework. So what is the Friday Off framework? It's a clear pathway to using AI to bring in more sales, have more fulfillment, and make things easier on you. Step one is to identify your best offer. And if you don't have a best offer yet, we show you how to come up with that. Then you use AI to edit it and update it. Next is step two, and you're going to launch in the bare minimum. Followed by step three, where you use AI to edit, increase your average order, and add the next layer for the next launch. Finally, in step four, you evergreen and automate so that you can do other things That might be going deeper on the offer you already have. It could be creating another one. It could be having multiple brands like what we have. It could be just spending more time with your family like we do as well. And so there's a lot of things you can do, but whatever it is that you want to do, you have the option because you have it evergrained and automated. This is peaceful, sustainable, a way to make money without constantly requiring more time from you or a new hire. And I have to be honest, that might feel super uncomfortable at first. At least it has for me in the past whenever I step out of the role of doing everything all the time, being exhausted, being tired, feeling like the whole world is on my shoulders. When I started to move away from that, it almost felt wrong, like I was cheating the system or something. But really, what it is, getting our bodies and our minds out of this constant go mode, out of a place where our nervous system is constantly dysregulated. And so moving from a place like that, where you're constantly though, to a place where it is more peaceful and sustainable and chaos free. If you stick with it, it feels amazing. If you want, like the first day in it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do everything. And you learn that you don't, which is pretty cool. All right, so here's why people love AI 200K. They signed up, they made their money back right away. They signed up 3 new members, upgraded 4 members, paid for the program before the program even officially started, using the things and the prompts that I gave them. Another person got 1,200 in course sales, even though they hadn't finished all of their homework yet for the course. This person also recouped their investment, had 2 people sign up, again, recouped before they even began. They really like that we answer questions for them. They love the vibe of the group, that it's about self-care too. And it's not just about here's how to make more money with AI. It's here's how to do it sustainably. Here's how to make your life more about just work. Now, a few logistics, what you're going to get with AI to 100K. So first, you're going to get monthly live launch prompts with new angles. So if you're launching anything, this is going to be helpful for you. The most important thing, that's an easy to follow weekly schedule that gets you more visible, because we know that more visibility equals more money. You'll have monthly copy reviews that you can submit, monthly live launch coaching calls with replays available, weekly implementation threads, quarterly training from a highly esteemed mindset coach, who's actually my mindset coach that I've worked with for the past 4 or 5 years, who is just really incredible at what she does and has been transformational for me. The Friday Off Club framework, which if you are somebody that really likes to see the big picture, that is the best place to start in the program. Monthly step-by-step AI training that builds on itself. So you're not doing this disjointed thing, a little bit here, a little bit there, that often happens when you buy programs at different stages, or you buy one program from this person, another program from this person. You feel like you're trying to do all the things at once, but this actually builds on itself so that every time you take a step forward, it's like you're climbing a ladder instead of just walking in a straight line. We have quarterly guest experts on AI income streams, optional guilds or like cohorts for peer support, success tracking challenges. Like right now, we're doing a launch one, so people can get accountability on putting their offers out there. $1,000 in a day plan, so 1K the first day, and that shows you what I would do to make 1K the first day. It has a lot of different ideas on there. You don't have to take them all, but even if you just take one, people are making money from that. Evergreen training, and this shows you the whole thing that you get there. And when you join today, you're also going to get 3 days of one-on-one messaging. So this isn't a one-on-one program. I can't provide one-on-one coaching for the price that I'm going to share with you here in a second. And so that's why it's a group program. But with this, you also get 3 days of one-on-one messaging, which means you can reach out through Voxer, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, and it's just text messaging, or you can use voice on there as well. And it's a way for us to get you support when you need it, while also keeping the price really affordable. So if you want feedback, you get it in this program. If you want accountability, you get that too. If you want group coaching, that's here as well. If you want to ask me questions, I'm in the group Monday through Thursday for that very reason. If you want tested prompts, the way I can work for you, you get that too. I also should have said this, if you want something customized. So if there's something that you're stuck on and you're like, I don't know what prompt to give ChatGPT for this, what do you suggest? I'll answer that and I'll help you make some tweaks. If you want a clear path to make your investment back in the first of every month, yep, I share that too. So if you want to do all of those things, the time is now. Your next money-making opportunity is coming up soon. In this program, I show you how to make money every single month. Now, these are some of my colleagues that I've shared these trainings with. These colleagues are people whose minds I've already blown with the help of AI, and they've encouraged me to charge upwards of 12K for this program. And honestly, I paid more than that for programs that I got a lot less in, which was a bummer. And I get why they want me to charge this month. There's a college program charging $3,200 for just 6 weeks of training on the impact of AI. It's not even like practical ways of how to use it. like AI to 100K is. It's just on the impact of AI. So like I said, I get why my friends, my colleagues want me to charge a higher price. And just to recap, here's everything that you get. You have an easy to follow weekly schedule, 1K in a day plan, the monthly copy reviews, weekly implementation thread, monthly live coaching calls. You get all of these things here, monthly live launch prompts, quarterly mindset coaching, this framework that shows you that big picture stuff, evergreen training, monthly step-by-step AI training. You get all these things. You also get live coaching calls, Q&A calls, like group coaching calls, Q&A calls. Um, this month, we're also talking about AI with SEO. We're talking about how to create money using PLRs and AI. So you get a lot of things there. So when you join, you're not going to get you're not going to pay $12,000. I'm used to making people money. I make people money with my email marketing agency, which is another brand that someone else at our company runs for us now. I've also helped tons of other countless businesses like copywriters, ad strategists, pet psychics, business coaches, dentists, life coaches, social media marketers, therapists. Pretty much if you can think of it, we have probably worked with them in one of our brands. And of course, in my own business, I know how to make money in that as well. And so I want to bring that to you too. The more money good people like us have, the more good we can do for ourselves, our families, our communities, and the world. That's why I'm bringing AI to 100K to market for much, much less than 12K. So the true market price on my website comes out at only $2,997 or $250 a month. And again, most of the people that join are able to make their investment back before the program even officially starts. Because I want to help as many people as possible make the world a better place with more options, you're going to get it for even less. So just recap, here's everything that you're getting and the 3-day one-on-one messaging bonus. And you're going to get that only for $19.97 for the whole year or $197 a month for 12 months. But when you join today, I have one other surprise for you. You're actually only going to get it for $9.97 for the year or $97 a month for 12 months. And again, this is not a membership. It's not a subscription. If you do $97 a month for 12 months, that's a payment plan, or you can do pay in full for $9.97 for the whole year. All right, now a few questions you might have. First of all, will I get one-on-one coaching from you? No, unfortunately, because this is a really well-priced, affordable program, I'm not able to offer one-on-one coaching. Normally, my one-on-one coaching is $9.97 an hour. So I'm not able to offer one-on-one coaching in this program, but we do have a lot of support still, including your cohorts. We have support. You can ask questions from me. You have 3 one-on-one messaging days and a lot of other ways that we can support as well. How often do we have group coaching calls? You can come to as many or as few as you want. Right now we have 2 per month, 1 Q&A call, 1 coaching call. And then we also have 3 or 4 co-working days, our co-working calls that we do as well, plus some other group trainings. And again, you can come to as many or as few as you want. They're there to support you, not overwhelm you. So as many as you want to come to, we'd love to have you. What if it doesn't work for me? Okay, so this is a really good question. You have a 14-day refund and cancellation policy. So if you want to cancel, you can do that within the first 14 days. After that, it is the year-long program, and reach out to me. If you have questions, if you're stuck on something, reach out to me. I genuinely want to help you be successful with this because I know the kind of impact that having more options that comes with making more money can have on a person because I've experienced that myself. This is a little side note, but I actually am a former teacher. I mentioned that earlier, but what you don't know is that I thought I would be a teacher forever and I didn't want to be, but I didn't know what else I could do. And so I saw somebody else that I knew be able to go online, make money, do really well. And I thought, well, she can do it. I can figure out a way to do it too. And seeing the options that opened up for her because she had more money coming in, because she wasn't going from one client to another client, I realized if I wanted to have more options, more safety, more security, if I didn't want to just rely on, I hope this works out or I hope everything comes through, I needed to have more options. So I know it's a good thing when good people have more options. And so I want to help you do that. What if I need extra help? What if I get stuck? You can reach out, Brittany, Impact Driven AI, or reach out in the group. Like I said, I'm in there Monday through Thursday, and I'm more than happy to help and answer questions. And if it's something that is outside my realm of expertise, we have a lot of wonderful experts in there as well that can help. I want to join, but I haven't made at least 100K yet. Okay, so with this, we want to make sure that this is not a stretch for you. If you think that paying $97 a month, which is that really discounted price from the $197 a month, which is discounted from our website price, if paying $97 a month is a stretch for you, then I would not recommend joining at this time. It's important that you're able to take care of yourself and your bills and your family and your team if you have one, and then come back to us. So even if you haven't made at least 100K, you can still join as long as $97 a month would not be a stretch for you. Now, if you think, I don't like to sell, I don't like to get on sales calls, I don't like to be on social, I don't like to write emails, AI can help with every single one of those. If you're thinking, I'm not good at sales, perfect, AI can help. I'm not good at social, AI can help. I'm not good at writing, AI can help. I'm not good at traffic. I know, you probably guessed it already, right? AI can help. If you're thinking, can I start later? Yes, you can start pretty much any time. However, the longer you wait to start, the harder it's going to be, and the louder other people are going to be because they're already starting. If you want to be known in your industry, if you want to be known in your topic and with your podcast, I would start sooner than later. When do we start the official program? We start the first Monday of every month. So even if you are not officially starting yet for another week, another 2 weeks, when you join now, you still get access to the program so that you can get started right away if you would like to. All right. So we'd love to see you in AI to 100K. If you have any questions, please reach out, Brittany at impactdrivenai.com. And that's Brittany, Britany, 2 T's, and then an A-N-Y on that. It's so great to have you in here. I hope you enjoyed learning about the 30 ways that podcasters can use AI. And we'll see you in AI to 100K if that's the right fit for you. Talk to you soon.